Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, there are verses that are clear that even a child with proper understanding will come to the correct conclusion. But there are also some verses that you need someone of knowledge, you need people of knowledge to help you come to a better conclusion. Okay, so not everything in the Quran is so clear and easy to understand from face value. So which means that you need to seek knowledge. That's the is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even blesses the scholars in the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala urges you to seek people who has more knowledge than you. That could be your sheikh, your imam, or just a random somebody. So long that person has more knowledge than you and probably authorized to give you the proper guidance. Right. So the point of this is is to talk about the importance of people who take culture over Islam. Okay. People who says things like, well, I'm an American, so the ruling doesn't apply to me. Right. It's a short story time where I've met somebody. I met a person in a halal manner. She considered herself a modern Muslim. I don't know what that means. She said she doesn't follow scholars because the scholars are not from America. So the ruling of the scholars only apply to Saudi. So every time a certain conflict came about, well, I'll tell her about it. She'll say, well, I'm an American, or I'm a Black American woman, so this doesn't apply to me, or this and the third. So the importance about placing culture or placing certain things over yourself, so bear in mind that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that tells you to follow the scholars, follows the people of knowledge. Okay. So when we start saying things like, I'm this in the third, or I'm this culture, I'm from this culture, we don't do things, we do things differently in this culture. Islam is universal. Islam is not just for somebody from Saudi. Islam is not different just because you don't live in Saudi. Islam is not different just because you are a Black American. She even stated that people who make Umrah are wasting their time and money. At first, I try to be sympathetic. I try to hear her position, and I try to be nice about it by protecting my hayya as well. So I told her, nah, I wouldn't say people who do Umrah are wasting their money. Okay, but then she kept pushing on. She kept going, like, she said, no, people who do that is a waste of money, this and the third. So I was like, are you telling me the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where millions of people are trying to imitate the Prophet, and even the Prophet himself who performed Umrah, are you telling me even he himself wasted his time? So this is the danger of when we start placing culture over Islam, when we start placing this over Islam. Okay, there are things she doesn't agree with in Islam. There are things that she doesn't follow, or that she reads the Quran as a romantic novel, or she reads the Quran as a psychology book or something. I don't remember exactly. So that's when I had to basically end conversation with this person, because I just feel like this person is right there and is in the cusp of shirk, and she doesn't even realize it. And then she's not the one who wants to take advice, because when you give her advice, what you said, follow the law of the land. So when I asked, what does that mean to you? What do you think that means, follow the law of the land? Follow the law of the land doesn't necessarily mean Tutsa law of the land tell me to do, I'm going to follow. If the Quran is firm on certain things. The Quran tells you to follow the law of the land, indeed. But if the law of the land goes against your Islam, do you still follow the law of the land? Okay. Same way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, do right by our parents, do right by our moms and our mothers and fathers and stuff like that, right? But guess what? If your parents oppresses you in a way that goes against your Islam, do you still follow the law of your parents? Obviously you do not. Okay, so again, people mixing cultures with Islam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them all hidayah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala them to the proper to the path of the mustaqim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.